Hi, I'm Christina Brooks, a licensed psychologist and the founder of the Anxiety and Behavioral Health Center in Frederick, Maryland. We know that for so many children, Halloween is a favorite holiday, and that for others, it is a complete nightmare. Because children's minds are freshly developing, they can have a hard time distinguishing between reality and fantasy. And this is what makes things like hide and seek in animated movies or holidays like Christmas so magical. And it's also what can make fears in childhood so problematic and Halloween a nightmare. There are also some children who might be fearful of the social aspects of Halloween, like speaking to adults or walking in large crowds and being seen in costumes in public. To help our kids overcome their fears, they need exposure to the situations that they fear. We know that exposures are most helpful when they are age appropriate, when they're gradual, and when a child feels in control and is willing to do that thing that they fear. Here are some ideas for exposures that will help to prepare your child for Halloween, to face their fears, and to enjoy the holiday. So, start exposing your child to the sights and sounds of Halloween early, like now. Talk to your child about how Halloween is a holiday where we get to pretend to be things that we're not, even things that don't really exist. Share stories and pictures of you dressing up for Halloween. You can read books like The Construction Site Gets a Fright, which is a Halloween Lift the Flap book. And books like this help children to understand that there are ways in which we can use our imagination on holidays like Halloween to make things seem more scary than they actually are. You can dress up at home and you can turn those Amazon boxes into parts of a robot or a cereal box costume as a way to show your child that, again, we can pretend to be things that we aren't. To help them understand the difference between reality and pretend even more, you can show them behind the scenes videos of actors getting their makeup done, or outtakes or bloopers of movies. Movies like Avatar and Hocus Pocus are really great for this. And you can take your child to the store to look at the costumes, to touch the costumes, and to try the costumes on. Children cope so much better with certainty. So when children can actually see you putting on a mask or a costume, it can help them to understand that transformative process of dressing up. So maybe it's helpful for you to put on a mask in front of your child and maybe start with a mask that covers a small part of your face and then progress towards masks that cover a larger part of your face. And if their siblings or their friends have scary costumes, have them come over and have them play with the costumes, try the costumes on together. It's also perfectly okay, no matter the age of your child, to have them dress up in a fun costume that is not scary. To help your child with the social aspects of Halloween, you can play Halloween with them at home. You can have them practice trick or treating with their stuffed animals or with their dolls or with family, friends, or relatives. And you can encourage them to say hello to less familiar adults like waiters or checkers at the grocery store or librarians. And remember that it's really hard to be scared when you're having fun. So do things to make these exposures more fun and do things to make trick or treating more fun. Like maybe you create a game while you're trick or treating, like an informal scavenger hunt, where you see who can find the most people with inflatable costumes. Or maybe you skip from house to house instead of walking. Feel free to go earlier in the evening before it gets too dark and before the crowds get too big. And pass over those houses with really scary decorations and long lines of kids. And make plans in advance to go with friends. You might even choose to go to a trunk or treat event or mall trick or treating instead of or in addition to those typical neighborhood events. Facing fears is hard work and it can cause a lot of frustration for us as parents. So remember that it's going to be so much more helpful and fun for your kids when they can see that you are calm. If your child is struggling more than you expected them to, know that it's not the last opportunity that they are going to have to work through these fears. That just because it's like this now doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever. Take deep breaths and mindful pauses, or even breaks from these situations when you're beginning to feel overwhelmed. And support and encourage your child by saying things like, I know that you're scared and I know that you can handle this feeling. Or it's okay to feel scared. Just because you're scared doesn't mean anything bad is going to happen. I hope these ideas will make Halloween a little less frightful and a lot more fun for you and your child. Trick or treat.